The result was that we grew within a 9-month period by 973%. But let me take you back before we actually achieved this growth, because every time in business when there's a growth inflection point, it's because I'm focused on one thing. Of course, with the help of my team, but it was up to me to make certain key decisions and changes with how I was operating to achieve it. The result was that we grew within a 9-month period by 973%. Very proud of that. So I'd like to share that story with you in this video, what it was like before, how we broke through and achieved that type of a result, and the lessons that I learned from doing it so that you can apply this to your business and you can grow as fast and potentially faster. If you don't already know, my name is Matt Ack. I'm the founder and CEO of Grobo, as you may or may not already know. And welcome to this episode of Grobo's Massive Podcast. MASS, M-A-S-S, standing for Marketing, AI, Sales, and How to Scale. We've been in business since 2010, started the company with under $200 in the bank, no outside investment, and today we are a multi-million-dollar business selling our flagship productized service offer, which empowers businesses and entrepreneurs to delegate unlimited marketing tasks to an all-in-one team without the headaches of hiring. But the journey has not been all sunshine and rainbows, and that's why I make these videos, sharing our journey to become a multi-billion-dollar business. But first, we're targeting to get to the $3 million annual run rate mark. So we're bootstrapped, as I mentioned, and chances are you're in the same boat. So let's create massive growth together while we build you a competitive moat. The story I want to share with you in terms of that growth number, 973%. God, what a ride it's been. Where did that number come from? I calculated it before this video just to be accurate. And actually, it's a little bit higher, but I rounded down. From June to September 2020, for a brand new productized service offering at that time, we more than tripled revenue in that time period, that approximately 3-month time period. So the story is that from June to September of 2020, for our brand new at the time productized service offer, we more than tripled revenue in that time frame. Then from October 2020 to March of 2021, we more than tripled again. The total monthly net revenue growth for that time frame was 973%. And so it's no surprise that 2021, with growth like that, that was our first 7-figure year as a business. Now, these numbers can sound really impressive, and they are. I am proud to share them with you. I think we can do so much better as a company to continue growing, continue serving our market better, and taking care of our team and continuously innovating. But let me take you back before we actually achieved this growth, because I think seeing the before and after is really important, because you can watch YouTube videos all day long of just some guru who, I hate that word guru, don't ever call me a guru. You can watch videos all day long of gurus who just throw out big numbers, and you can honestly just feel like shit, because it is human nature that we want to compare ourselves to other people. Hopefully, though, this will not make you feel that way. You'll feel inspired instead. So the beforehand, just to kind of bring this down to earth, was just complete stagnation, right? It was complete stagnation. I think just under a year earlier, I had actually been focused, the whole company was focused on we were selling info products, but it was a real drain because I didn't love it. I thought that I would. I did it for over a year. I was proud of the results as far as like first year in business, like just selling info products, but it just kind of turned into a job. And I know that some other entrepreneurs are really good at that type of business model, but I decided I had enough of this stagnation and just like constantly, it just wasn't for me. It seemed like to sell at that time that I would have to kind of become something in terms of my personal brand that I didn't want to be. So the business model, I learned a ton from it, but it wasn't for me. Moreover, it really was getting to the point where it wasn't paying the bills. Like money was getting tighter and tighter and tighter at the time. I had just come back. I was actually traveling and living abroad, and coming back to the US, the cost of living in the US is significantly higher. And so cash flow was going in the absolute wrong direction. Very stressful moment. And I remember I went out for these walks after work. It was actually great. I would walk in this kind of loop around the apartment where I was living at the time. And then I'd come back and, my girlfriend would make dinner. And it gave me some time to think. And this brings up a statistic that's probably worth sharing. Part of the problem is indecision. So according to WAP, 58% of startups cite not knowing where to start as the biggest hurdle. And this, of course, brings us to the fact that stagnation, it just stems from indecision. You see the numbers either flatlining or going in the wrong direction, and there's just so many options. And you might also just be tired because you're just working all the time and you're thinking about your business even when you're not working. So this leads to just the inability to focus on one task. And so you're just kind of stuck in this loop due to lack of focus, indecision. But on one of my walks, I made a decision because I was listening to Andrew Warner, someone I consider a friend, and I just really got inspired by this one other story that I heard on the podcast. And I said, I think that we can relaunch our productized service from several years prior. And I think that we can just do it better. I think that we can, optimize the things that were wrong with it. Because previously we had launched 2 other versions of a done-for-you service, which was focused just on sales funnels. We initially launched, I remember day 1 back in 2015, the end of 2015, we started making sales. We got to 5K MRR, basically in about 3 weeks, and just kind of leaned into that. Didn't really even know what we were selling at first. We just kind of put up this landing page at the time, and there was a lot of demand. I'll get to the reason why there was a lot of demand, because I think that's really important to understand. So once I get to the lessons learned section, definitely pay attention for that. And then we launched again, and we kind of doubled and tripled the price, kept going up. And so the business model itself became more clear by repeatedly launching and selling it in these past years, but there was still something about it that just wasn't working. And the same thing ultimately sort of started to happen at that time too. So we launched it, the 3rd iteration of the Done For You funnel service, and we launched it and we started making sales immediately. Cash flow was pretty good. But for the customers, for the clients who would sign up for this, I would see some of them getting great results and loving it, and others not getting great results. And I had a decision to make. And in part by going through the discomfort of relaunching it and getting to that point again of indecision where it's okay, things are not perfect. I really want to make sure we're doing a great job of serving our client base here. What do we do? So the choice was either go niche in terms of we can better serve the market and get everyone consistently great results if we choose a specific niche, or I could solve my own problem and take a little more of a risk, which was I just wanted, and I believe that the market wanted this. I didn't have a lot of data to support it, but I said, I think just having an all-in-one marketing team that who you can delegate to, just proven professionals. And I just had this image in my mind of on your phone, on a laptop, you just sort of talk or type. And it's okay, it's delegated and it's off your plate and it's going to be done as well and much better than if you had done it yourself. Or if you have an internal team equivalent to that and you pay just a flat monthly fee. This was the solution that I wish I had had years prior. So it was a pain point that I was intimately familiar with. But again, I didn't have any real market validation that this would work. Because it was a moment of pain, it forced me to not be indecisive. Because again, I was meeting with these, several clients, because again, we got really good results for a lot of our clients, but my time wasn't scaling with the business. And I was putting together systems to help it. But ultimately, like I said, we had to either go niche or we had to take this other path because I didn't want to keep going broad with the Done For You funnel service. It just didn't feel good, right? Because I wanted to make our clients happy, right? So I decided to take a calculated risk and say, you know what? I really have conviction that this will work. I believe that if I have this need, that our audience, some significant percentage, maybe a bigger percentage, will have this need as well. And so we launched it. And then the pandemic hit, okay? And then everything closed down, and then the whole world was just falling apart. And it just kind of kept going that way. And revenue went down and down and down and down and down and down till we hit, a low point in the summer. And it was right at that low point. I don't know. I can't even tell you the level of conviction that I had. I'm so grateful that I had it instead of the opposite, which I think would have been much easier considering the numbers and the direction it was going in. But from that point on, June 2020 being the low point, we just started to climb. And it started slow and then it just kept increasing, kept going. And that's when I realized, we have market validation. We had lined up enough things in the funnel. We had gotten the funnel to alignment. And again, it was just part of why I think it took so long, other than the pandemic situation, it just took a while to calibrate everything in the funnel. And there was like some element of rapid iteration occurring, but it was the funnel itself. I think looking back, I could have rapidly iterated a lot faster with the business models rather than going from 2015. And I think that time from 2015 to 2020, I think that could have been compressed to a much shorter time frame in terms of learning. And this is supported too by what you hear from a lot of venture capitalists, former entrepreneurs who've been in the trenches. Launch, launch, launch. You have a marketing strategy, it's called launching. Launch and get feedback. Launch and shut the hell up and listen. And then recalibrate, iterate. But if people want what you are offering, or at least you believe that there's a market demand out there, it could just be a matter of iterating not the product necessarily, but the funnel, okay? Because that is what happened with us. We just kind of, everything clicked progressively more and more, and we just exploded. For the next 9 months, it was just rocket ship. And we were just hiring people left and right to keep up. And it was one of the hardest times I've ever worked in terms of number of hours per day on average, but loved it. It was a great ride. And you could just feel the market like pulling this productized service out of us. It was desired. And that's what momentum and market validation looks like and feels like. It's just the market's just like pulling it out of you. So just to relate this now to kind of present day, I've started about a little more than a week into this 33-day challenge that I started the previous week. Just something to kind of like distract from the news. The election is coming up at the time of this video in the US. And so we're just focused on and inviting our audience here, you, if you want to join along, to have your own 33-day challenge where it's about focus and consistency and focusing on the things that you need to do to grow your business. Because usually as entrepreneurs, we're faced with a lot of options, but we might know, what it is that works or has worked in the past, but we just don't want to do it. So part of that for me is putting out quality content consistently and just iterating on the funnel, doing what I did in the past that worked, because certain things are just out of alignment. And part of achieving focus too is prioritizing where you're working, when you're working, and just time. For example, even when there was two hurricanes that came here in the last couple of weeks. When those hurricanes hit, I said, all right, I'm committed to working. I can't control the weather, but I'm going to get the hell out of here. I went to Miami for several days, and I just continued with the 33-day challenge, getting focused. Said, I'm not going to let this distract me. And progressively, at the time of this video, I am getting more and more focused. There's a sense of momentum personally that I feel building. And that's what you want as a business. You want to feel that pull. It's kind of like your brain anticipating progress and seeing past progress as it occurs. And I don't know the neuroscience behind it, but dopamine, I have heard and read, is released progressively, like when you're watching a movie or reading a book, for example. It's released as your anticipation rises, okay? So basically, your kind of enthusiasm, you could look at it, and just natural intrinsic energy, as I feel it, is rising as you make more perceived progress, even if it's just something that is in your control. Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm going to make this many sales or generate this many leads, because you don't have direct control over. You might have some influence indirectly, but what is in your control? You can pick up the phone and you can make X number of calls. You can send Y number of emails, things like this. And I think you can also tie this back to a recent previous video where we talked about what Mark Zuckerberg in the early years of Facebook said to a fellow developer, that in terms of self-belief, because I think part of what might hold you back from making a decision is you might just doubt yourself. It's normal, but get over it and make the decision anyway. Because, for example, this developer who Mark was talking to, he was like, I've never built a search engine before. And Mark comes to him again in the early days of Facebook, and he says, if I can build Facebook, you can build a search engine. So it's that idea of you are not limited. Your own beliefs will limit you, and your own lack of focus in terms of where you choose to put your time will also contribute to what you achieve or what you don't. So you need to say no to distractions in order to start to build that momentum. Some additional lessons that helped me to overcome stagnation and I'm reapplying them right now. I've been through this problem before where I see, for example, sales or leads stagnate. The thing that I learned, especially from this time where we achieved the 973% growth in 9 months, was just, again, launching and rapidly iterating. So for example, just in the last, week and a half, we launched the freemium version of our Grobo AI platform, AI automation. And we're getting feedback on that. We see people signing up. You can go to app.grobo.com if you want to sign up for that. It's completely free. It's still in the early stages, but we want to get this out there, and it can help you with automating your content marketing. And if you check it out and decide, oh, I just want someone to do this all for me, well, you can check out our Done For You service for that. And speaking of that, and speaking of launching and rapidly iterating, we have also just launched a free version of our Done For You service. And you might say, Matt, what the hell? How do you offer a Done For You service with an all-in-one team for free? Well, I would call it, I guess, freemium or free preview. So you can sign up for free. You can log into the whole web app interface, okay? You can see all the project templates. You can chat with your project manager. You can chat with team members who can answer any of your questions. So you kind of get the full experience, and you can even prepare your initial tasks or projects that you want to delegate. And then when you're ready, you want to hit the ground running, you just sign up, pay $7. So it's just $7 for your first week. And so, yeah, we just rolled that out too. And we're seeing people sign up for that. So again, I bring this back to launch and rapidly iterate. And again, you want to be calibrating towards the market. And just doing stuff is better than doing nothing a lot of the time, because at least then if you just kind of shake the box, you're going to get some sort of a feedback. Like sort of like here, like, well, what's in the box, and is it round, is it rolling, and then you can calibrate your offer, your product if necessary. Or again, like I had this ultimate conviction in 2020. I said, I know that I need this productized service to exist where it's like an app interface. And it's like project management software, but there's an all-in-one team already inside. And I just can see myself delegating through text or through a voice note. And then it's off my plate. I don't have to do it. I can rely on just the talented people there to do it for me, whether it's copywriting, design, development, and so on. And, thanks in part to that conviction, but also it was just kind of like observing, okay, so what are we getting traffic for right now? Like a lot of it was about like conversions and funnel optimization, content marketing. And then it's like, okay, well, what's the angle? Like, is the copy, is it clear? Are the graphics really expressing the value of it? And then I constantly, now that I'm thinking about it, remembering it too, update the pricing. And for example, when we changed the pricing to be related to speed of delivery, turnaround times, that was another minor / medium major inflection point for us, because that immediately just sort of seemed to click and flow with what the market wanted. And part of that too was informed from hearing feedback from current and past clients. So if you know that people need your product or service, it's about iterating your funnel and not necessarily the product, okay? And it can also be just a matter of like getting the market to what it is you're offering. Again, you can move towards the market, or you can move the market to you. You also want to be protecting your time. All right. You want to fiercely guard your time and not allow distractions to derail you. Shiny object syndrome is all around the entrepreneurverse. So it's very easy. Trust me, I get it, susceptible to it. But every time in business, when there's a growth inflection point, it's because I'm focused on one thing. So that is the next lesson, which is you want to prioritize having one focus. All right. You want to commit to just one single goal or one single business and one single product in order to create and maintain momentum, okay? Because the momentum itself will help to carry you and your team forward. Everyone loves progress. You will feel it. And when you have momentum, you want to maintain it at all costs. Fire anyone who holds you back or who slows down the momentum. And if you don't have momentum, keep iterating and launching until you find it, okay? Momentum is very, very important. So that's it for today's video. I hope you found this informative and helpful. In particular, I'd love to hear what you got from it that you'll be applying in your business and in your entrepreneurial journey. Because honestly, videos are nice to watch, but actually applying something and seeing the results is even better. And only a small fraction of people will ever actually apply. But I want you to be part of that fraction of the audience who actually takes action. So decide right now, what is it going to be that you're taking from this video that is valuable and that you're going to put into action? And leave a comment. Let me know. Let me know what you thought of the video in general. Is there anything you'd like me to go more in depth on, or perhaps lingering questions about how to apply what is in this video to your business? We'd love to hear from you in general. And remember, because fear is motivating, and this is not meant to be a positive quote, but stagnation is not just about being stuck. It's the slow death of your potential. And I want the opposite for you and for your business. I want you to achieve your maximum potential to the extent or level that you want to achieve it. Okay. So don't get mired down in the quicksand of indecision, of thought. Take action, make a decision, launch, iterate, listen. All right. And please like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to learn more about how Grobo and our all-in-one team offering can help you to delegate unlimited marketing tasks without the headaches of hiring, go check us out at grobo.com. You get an all-in-one team. Again, it's like project management software with copywriters, designers, developers, ads managers, video motion graphics, project manager, strategist, and more already inside, ready to receive whatever tasks or projects you want to delegate off your plate to help you execute, to help you iterate, so that you are not stagnating, because the faster that you can iterate and the faster and more that you can get done and execute, the faster that your business can grow. So this is the solution that I wish I had earlier on in my entrepreneurial journey, and go check it out. It's a great value, $7 for the first week, and it's free to sign up and just kind of get in there and see a preview. Plus, if you sign up at grobo.com and you go inside, you get a free $300 value bonus, which is our proven sales conversion pack, which includes all of these different research-backed conversion tactics that you can apply on your website. Some of them are as simple as 5 minutes to implement. I spent hundreds of hours putting together. There are hundreds of case studies in there. They're all statistically relevant and legit. I vetted, there's a lot of case studies out there that are only testing to whatever 80% or 90% statistical confidence level, but these are all 95% and up, so they are legit. Identified patterns for you. So there's videos, there's the case studies all broken down, organized for you, and it's across different industries too, so you can kind of sort it. And that's just my gift to you. So if you want access to that, and in general, you want to get access to Grobo done for you offering an app, go to grobo.com and check it out. Until next time, keep Groboing and stay focused. Thank you very much.